Last time on My Hero Academia, the battle between All for One, Endeavor, and Hawks has reached a critical point. Endeavor was massively injured. Hawks backed into a bit of a corner, and Jiro and Tokoyami coming to his rescue. And of course, All for One tries to use their inexperience to his advantage, but the kids were not deterred. And though Jiro suffered the loss of one of her earphone jacks, she still managed to help stall All for One by awakening the souls of the quirks within his very body, stalling him long enough for Hawks to do the unthinkable and crack a little bit of All for One's helmet respirator. And while this isn't the most severe of blows, it's still a decisive one that should hopefully slow down All for One just enough so that he can finally be taken out of commission. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, it's right after Hawks' blow. Jiro calls out for Tsukiyomi and Dark Shadow as she takes off her jacket. It's My Hero Academia number 356 regarding the enemy. Jiro says, here's your big chance. I'll catch up with you later. Catch up with you later? I guess the injury to Tokoyami's arm was a lot more severe than I thought, because Tokoyami takes his usual cloak and wraps it around his hand, while Jiro wraps her jacket around Dark Shadow and Tokoyami, so Tokoyami can still use his ability. Dark Shadow then tosses Jiro back as Tokoyami goes racing towards All for One. Tokoyami thinks to himself, Hawks lacks the power to deliver a decisive killing blow, right, because he's missing some of his wings. Not to mention he shattered his sword, breaking All for One's respirator. Oh shit! Okay, that's what he was doing. What I thought was Tokoyami wrapping his cloak around his hand because of the injury, it wasn't that. It was to increase the power of Dark Shadow. Tokoyami forms a shadowy fist around his hand, and with his attack, Abyssal Black Body, Ragnarok, he forms this gigantic fist, and then Fleeting Blow, BAM! Hits All for One with a massive smash! Like, damn! See, that's why I love Tokoyami. His ability has so much potential that we rarely ever get to see. But Horikoshi has made it known, Tokoyami has a lot of potential with his ability. Alright, so the attack completely just shattered the remnants of All for One's mask. Dude is flung backward. Hawk says, you thought they were just buying time, didn't you? As I guess one of his katana must not have been shattered, as I thought, as he starts to go in for the killing blow. Tokoyami catches Jiro, as Hawk says, but even Pestignac can be a pain in the butt. All for One looks shocked. All for One thinks to himself, I needed to dodge that attack at all costs, yet my awareness was delayed. Ever since losing most of my senses, I made a point of collecting sensory quirks that detect phenomena like vibrations or infrared radiation. Interesting. As a result, I'm far more aware of the world around me than the average person. In this case, the interference didn't come from the girl's pitiful sound attack. The real cause was my own quirk's rebellion. This is a first. Did switching to a synthetic copy really make me more vulnerable compared to my original power? My authority has weakened. Okay, so it's not just Jiro's attack. That was not the catalyst. It was simply the fact that because he's been dividing himself, essentially, more or less making another body so that he could still have his quirks and, kind of have his cake and eat it too, dividing himself like that actually left him prone to the very malice of the quirks within him. I mean, it's just one of those things. All those quirks, all those abilities, all within him, you would think, no, there should be a limit. At some point, all those quirks would kind of try to eat him from the inside out. And as Hawks goes in for the attack, he thinks to himself, up until now, I had to catch him off guard with sneaky moves. which wasn't enough to finish the job. But now, one quick blow can kill him. And then there's a flash Hawk sees. I don't know how he sees it though. And it's a flash of All for One consuming the spirits of the very quirks he holds within his body. I don't know if that's him eliminating those quirks, like deleting them from within him, or is it simply him bringing them back under control? All for One screams out, "Wretched pests!" as masses of black tendrils come jutting out of him. Oh shit. I think Hawks guarded Tokoyami and Jiro with his body, because you see all this blood coming from Hawks covering Tokoyami and Jiro, and you see what All for One was doing. He used all these tendrils to latch on to every single piece of his helmet that shattered, bringing them all back to him, much to Hawks' shock. And now with his mask essentially just pasted back onto him, All for One says, "Good grief. Oh, shit. Okay, that wasn't it. What I thought was Hawks guarding Tokoyami and Jiro. No. Endeavor has finally gotten back into the fight, smashing and burning away some of the tendrils, but several of them piercing through Endeavor's right hand. Oh jeez! And his right hand gets ripped off as All for One mocks Endeavor, saying, "That doggedness has left you twisted and disfigured, Endeavor." And then we have a flash to what seems to be Endeavor when he was in UA, looking down on his present self. In the past, Endeavor says, "Even weaker now." He thinks to his relationship with Todoroki, position, his relationship with Natsu, atonement, when he thought he lost his son, who had become Dabi, mistakes, his apology for his son, responsibility. His past self says, all of it has only exposed the weakness that was always there. It's painful to witness what a loser you've been reduced to. You'll never be a superhero, Enji. Think back to your origin. Remember what the real enemy was. Recall how your father attempted to save a girl from some bastard and wound up a corpse along with the girl. And you see what looks like Endeavor when he was in middle school, maybe? Looking upon the scene of a destroyed building, paramedics taking away the body of, I guess, the girl with his father lying on the ground, the rain, the blank look in the young Endeavor's face. You know, I never actually even thought about it. Thought about what spurred Endeavor on so much. And then you see a visualization of All Might as the young as the young Endeavor says, think back on your envy towards true Supermen and your inferiority complex. You called yourself Endeavor, as in hard work, showing your menial nature. Remember how you had to put on airs to keep that ugly heart of yours from falling to pieces. But the present day Endeavor grabs himself by the throat, but the young Endeavor keeps talking. That's right, you'll never be All Might or Deku, because I've only ever done battle with the weakness within, so don't even dwell on the notion of some grand rebirth. And as his past self is engulfed in flames, the current Endeavor thinks, go on, keep cursing the true enemy that is weakness. That's the only thing that has kept you alive. And Endeavor's missing hand, what once was there, ignites into a fist of his own. A burning fist that he strikes out at All for One with. It almost looks like it incinerates the bastard. God damn. And weakly, with a shaking voice, Endeavor says, he cauterized that wound that All for One gave him before. Endeavor says, dogged? Yeah, I sure am. Which is why, as long as I'm alive, I'll never take solace in a job well done. Putting an end to this fight is my duty. God damn. Jeez, that was brutal. Man. But that's really does leave me wondering. He doesn't even need the Firebeard anymore. He's completely gotten rid of it. I mean, that's not really where his concentration is at the moment. He's lost an arm, maybe lost some guts, but hey, he still got those guts. Damn, that fire fist though. I wonder. I mean, do you think this might be the end of Endeavor with everything that he's done? You really do have to wonder. And that's where it all stems from, huh? His want to be better, to be something incredible, to never fail, to never have that regret, that bitterness in wanting to be the best just comes from a place of sadness. I wonder who his father was, though. And maybe that's the point. The fact that you don't even hear about his father. He's never once mentioned his father. Nobody's ever even alluded to his father. He was just some hero who failed, and lives were lost because of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out at a later date, but I think there's something really oddly powerful about the fact that his father might just be treated as some nobody. Man, Endeavor losing an arm, man, Horikoshi, if he's not killing off characters are losing friggin' limbs, just damn. And All For One, bastard, just sealing back his helmet with that one attack. Jeez, I didn't think he'd do something like that. It's just like, nope, helmet back. Just like, you bastard. And it is a bit convenient that his, quirk collection and containment seems to be failing him now, but, I mean, this is the first major fight he's actually been in, and he's using his quirks like in tandem left, right, and center. I guess it also kind of comes from the fact you don't really know how having so many quirks affects him as a whole. I mean, just look at the way Deku having so many quirks and using them work. He's constantly seeing the visages of previous users, able to talk with them, how sometimes his quirks can run rampant or fail him and run wild and stuff like that. I feel like maybe if we got more information on how having all those quirks within him was also like Deku, and he had all these souls within him that he was somehow able to subdue and keep in check, but through trying to split himself without the process fully kind of being done as a whole, has actually left him kind of prone to his own collection of abilities. I mean, I don't hate that explanation, honestly. It makes a lot of sense. The fact that he can amass so much power with no repercussions, he can just wield all these abilities, no repercussions, no risks. He can just do it whatever the fuck he wants. Like, My Hero, it has made it very clear that there can be downsides to a quirk, that there are limitations to quirks. That's Endeavor's whole modus operandi for creating Todoroki, Shoto, because there was a downside to Endeavor's quirk. But at the same time, that downside to All For One's abilities wouldn't really be out there either, because the dude would of course keep it very close to the vest. But man, that punch Tokoyami managed to get in on All For One. Like, not to downplay any of Hawks' attacks or Endeavor's attacks or even Jiro's attacks, despite the fact that All For One made sure to just keep blowing off Jiro's abilities. I'm sorry, I've always thought her heartbeat distortion attacks always seem more powerful than the series really let on. It's just like, no! Sound vibrations that strong that could shatter stone, like, come on! But man, that Tokoyami coming in with the, here comes the giant fist! That was cool. That was so cool. I don't know, I really like that. I love seeing Tokoyami just go in with a massive attack. Because we've seen how relentlessly massive Dark Shadow can get when it goes out of control. I wish we had seen more of Tokoyami's growth, I think. To just see him work on his abilities to get to that point, but I just loved it. I loved the fist, the after effects with the smash just coming across. That got me hyped. That got me stupid hyped. Like, this has been a really fun fight, and it's really kind of had me on the edge of my seat, at least personally. Like, I enjoy all of these characters, and these are characters I've wanted to have more time with, and having them all in the final battle with All for One is just like, what? So I'm pretty hyped for all of this. I've really been enjoying this. But it does feel like Endeavor might die at the end of this. Like, it feels like the final stand for Endeavor. The moment that we thought all was going to happen to All Might ends up happening to Endeavor. I don't know how I feel about him dying. I'm always shaky with character death. This has been pretty cool. But tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think about Tokoyami's massive attack? Or All for One's quirks rebelling against him? And even Endeavor's backstory and the sacrifice of his arm? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And hey, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next chapter reaction. Or don't. I ain't your daddy, but I still love you like one. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.